Welcome to the Elevated Trader Podcast. I am Dr. Kristen Kidgel.
And I am Tracy Ball. Join us every week as we journey into becoming better traders.
We believe becoming better traders involves elevating our skill, mindset, and our health. In each episode, we will discuss the current book we are exploring, and we invite you to join us on this journey.
Are you ready to elevate your trading, mindset, and health to the next level? Let's do this. And welcome back, everyone, to the Elevated Trader Podcast. We are in part 3 of the Emigrant Edge, and I am here with my awesome friend, Kristen Kidgel. How are you today?
I am excellent, Tracy Ball. You doing good? You ready to tackle this one?
Yeah, let's do it. Part 3. What's part 3 about?
It says, what is the edge? The 7 traits of successful immigrants.
The 7 traits. So the first trait, I like this trait because I share this trait. I already have this trait, is a voracious openness to learn.
Yes, you do.
What does that mean for you?
Get kind of bored not learning something new. I feel like I'm the same. Like, I want to understand that more. I want to understand that more. Yeah, I go down that road pretty much.
How does
but
it
it's usually it's massive expansion, but growth and then application if you decide to do so. So I'm just going to give you an example of something that's really significant in my life today, but it's only there because of the last 4 years of just having a voracious appetite, trying to learn the subconscious. So then that led me to learning from the masters and then learning from the past and then learning from the today's people doing research and science and all that stuff. And it's just so incredible. So that's led me to, get certified in the emotion code and being able to help people, release all that emotional baggage. It's blocking them from success and all those things. So yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's just an example. I mean, obviously when you want to learn stuff, do you take a little bite and then you can go, I have no interest in this. I guess you can walk away. That would never happen to you though, right?
What, that I'd walk away?
Yeah. Once you start learning something, you're like, I gotta memorize every detail of this.
No, I've given up on certain things that I don't enjoy learning about. But I love learning. A little side thing. I'm just curious. Let's play a game. In an apocalypse, would you be somebody that your friends want to have with you because you add value?
Yep.
There you go. That's kind of my idea.
Such a weird question.
It's just something I'm thinking about. It's like, okay,
my only value is that I'm stoic and funny. What other value? I can adjust your elbow or something. Like what? I can't close a suture, so we're screwed there.
Yeah, I'm not even going to get into the really bad stuff as far as,
If I need to have Tracy Ball around after an apocalypse or whatever, and I need a spreadsheet, we're golden.
I have more skills than just spreadsheets, my friend.
I know, but I always make fun of the fact that when I learned that Emily was a lover of spreadsheets, and then you're like, I am too. It's almost like you guys are closeted spreadsheet lovers. And I know that there's a lot of people listening that probably love spreadsheets, but I mean, love them? Love them? That's just strange. I still can't wrap my head around it. Anyways, I digress. So where are we? Trait 1.
Yeah, trait 1. So I guess that's that voracious openness to learn really gives you an opportunity to create added value. It gives you the opportunity to build your own value because as you learn, if you're willing to learn, you want to learn, you've got that appetite to learn, you can't do anything but add to your skill set. I've talked about this before because I've had some people that have asked me, why do you know how to do so much or whatever, right? And it's like, I always had this thing, we talked about this with money, but I had this thing with time is money. I've understood time is money, and I've always weighed having to pay for something versus having to learn it and which costs more. And I've done the math in my head to say, hey, how long is it going to take me to learn this versus how much I'm going to have to work in order to pay for it. And I've based the decision on that. If I can learn it quicker than I can work to pay for it, I'm going to learn it. And that's been the way that I've lived my life. And because of that, I've tipped the scales as far as my skill sets are concerned. I've done a lot of different things because when you're starting out and you're young, when you're fresh out of high school, your value's like way down here. You're not getting paid a lot. So everything that you need is going to take a long time for you to earn in order to pay for it. But your ability to learn, your brain is such a sponge at that age. I found an embracement. I embraced, I should say, a voracious appetite for learning in order to get what I wanted without having to work hours and hours and hours to pay somebody else to do it.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
It's really
and
what it makes sense.
I think in some of us it just comes naturally. Like I'm one of the oddballs that knew what she wanted to do while she was a
Mm-hmm.
senior in high school. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should go work for a chiropractor if that's what I want to do for a living. I've never met one. I don't even know what it is. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty, conversations with yourself. Got a job, learned a ton, and I'm still in high school. And then, yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So there was really no looking back after that. But yeah, so I think sometimes it just comes naturally. Like, you can go to chiropractic school and just pick up like 3, 4, 5 different techniques. But I was constantly like every other month or whatever, just out of pocket, just going to learn other techniques that were
Mm-hmm.
not in the curriculum. And that has really created so much value, like the type of care that I give. So, yep.
Not only does it create an increase in the kind of care that you're able to provide, but I think it keeps you in a position where you can really love what you do,
Mm,
right? Doing the same thing over and over and over again becomes comfortable. I get that. But
monotonous.
I think that a lot of people with comfort is boredom and not real happiness. And I think, I may be wrong, but I think that a lot of people that are like that fall into that content, consistent, predictable, complacent, I don't think that they have a lot of happiness unless they're finding it in some other way of challenging it, but maybe not
Or
passionate about their
not.
job anymore. Yeah, or not.
Yeah.
Right?
So maybe what we do is just challenge the reader. Say, listen, if you're finding yourself in a monotonous situation, get out of your comfort zone, go learn something new, finish the book, go listen to an entire book, like go learn something new.
Love it. That's a
And
great challenge to our
yeah, I
listeners.
think that's a good challenge. Okay. So
Yeah. Yeah.
are we ready for the next trait?
Yeah, absolutely. What's the next trait?
Okay. Trait 2, a do whatever it takes mindset. Love that.
Ooh,
That goes back to no plan B. Like I'm
yes.
all in. Yep. That's
Yeah.
easy.
I need to work on that. I don't always
What?
do whatever it takes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But you know what? I have spent a lot of time building other people's dreams,
Ooh.
right? I'm a do whatever
Epiphanies left and right, people.
I am a do whatever it takes to get the job done. I'm
Yes,
a
you are. You're a
do
doer.
whatever it takes to do the job well, but I haven't been a do whatever it takes to make my own dreams come true. I've always been willing to put my dreams on a back shelf in order to accomplish somebody else's dreams. And so,
We've had
yes,
these
I need to
discussions
work on
often.
that. That's definitely an area that I need to focus on.
Self care isn't selfish. Just saying.
How about you? You're obviously, I mean, you got exactly what you wanted.
Uh, yeah, I think I'm at a point now where like the only thing that's standing in the way is constantly just going to be myself. I have to really constantly remember that. Like, if I really want it, I just need to just go for it, and then I'll have it. But as soon as I waver, or we talk about this in so many other podcasts and books and stuff, but it's mindset's everything, and who
Yeah.
you're hanging out with. You've got to make sure you're hanging out with the people that are just kind of doing the same thing. have the openness for learning and have the ability to want to take action steps and support you, even if they just think what you're doing is crazy. It's really hard to do the things that I do, that I go after, and have everybody not look at me sideways because they're like, what is that? First of all, being a chiropractor is like, they're already looking at you sideways. So that helped a lot growing into that. But now doing energy work and trading, I'm like, what? You're just a interesting individual. And then you add supplements and stuff like that. So I don't really fit into the norm, I guess.
No, you
But
don't.
I can help a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. All right. What's trait number 3?
Trait number 3. Trait number 3 is a willingness to outwork others. So that means you have
Ooh.
coworkers and stuff. Or, yeah, I mean, I'm self-employed. So who am I outworking? Myself.
You're outworking the other chiropractors out there, the other self-employed people, right?
I guess, I don't know. I just compete with myself, honestly.
And
Because
that's really all you
we're
can
all
do,
so
right?
different. Yeah,
So
for
you want to
sure.
outwork yourself, you outwork, you find ways of doing things better than you did before.
Right. I always was kind of, how do I put this? Like when Walmart was really struggling and Amazon was just taking over the world, I'm like, it's because you didn't innovate. And then
Mm.
people like me, I've got patients going, you should be shooting videos and recording when you work on patients so it can be on social media. And I poo-pooed that for a while but that's innovating. That's like today's technology. And guess what I'm
Mhm.
doing now? I'm recording videos of how I work on patients. And I found a company that is editing them and putting them up. So I'm taking, something I would just say about other companies is like innovate or die. That's so real.
Mhm. Well, and the pandemic has definitely proven that if you don't innovate, you die,
Yeah.
right? You just
Yeah.
fall away. There's a lot of businesses that went out of business because they either gave up trying or they weren't able to innovate. And because of that, they just were financially ruined. They weren't able to pull out of something that we could not predict was going to be as extensive as the pandemic was. So I've seen a lot of businesses that have thrived where other businesses have not because they created some form of
Mm-hmm.
innovation. They thought outside the
Creativity.
box. They just
Yep.
redefined what it meant
Yep.
to do what they do, right? So
Yep.
the next one, a heartfelt spirit of gratitude. That is another trait with the Emigrant Edge. So
I
gratitude, we've
like how
talked
he
about
worded
this.
that. I like how he used the word heartfelt spirit, not just
Mm,
like have gratitude.
yeah, no, it's actually it's a sense of being, right?
Yeah, you got to feel. Gratitude has a feeling.
Mm.
Being grateful. It's the feeling that creates that frequency around you, and then you attract it more. You attract other people being grateful for you. So it is he's really really into that too, by the way, if you listen to any of his interviews.
So how do you get a heartfelt sense of gratitude? How do you truly get that?
Well, I think prompting yourself, when you wake up in the morning and you're still kind of numb from sleeping. There's not, you haven't really started your day. You haven't had like any weird emails or weird phone calls or anything. You're just kind of like in a different zone than the exhaustion of when you go to bed. You're just like, okay, I'm awake. You may be tired, but I feel like cultivating gratitude first thing is ideal. And then to cultivate it, it is just like, what are you grateful for? You have to sit there and like make it happen. I have a friend, she told me, she's like, Kristen, because she understands how huge gratitude is. I mean, she made me rethink gratitude, honestly, because she's like, Kristen, when my eyes are opening, I'm already thinking, being thankful and saying thanks for my pillow and for these 4 walls and like for my coffee that's waiting for me. And she's like, literally, she's like making a list like before she's even sitting up. I was like, dang, that's like next level right there. So, and she's awesome. She's got a great spirit.
Hmm. So you'd say, I guess the best way that I could look at this is what Joe Dispenza says all the time about what are you thinking, right? And if you catch your thoughts early, change them, and start practicing thinking new thoughts, then you're saying that heartfelt sense of gratitude will just eventually overtake
Mm.
your existing nature, I guess.
New beliefs, new behaviors.
All right.
Yep. Changing
Sounds
your
good.
behaviors. Yep,
Okay.
I agree.
There you go. So that's a challenge, again, to our listeners to really focus on what you're thinking about and start a practice of gratitude. And with that practice of gratitude, at some point, your heart will change and it will become a heartfelt sense of gratitude. That's
Yep.
the direction. So,
Yep. And I have a couple things that to make it easy for beginners, because
hmm.
I was there where I was like, okay, well, where do I start? What's the easiest place to start? Two things. You could go onto YouTube and listen to videos, and repeat them back in your head or something like that when you hear it. But there's literally YouTube videos that are like all about gratitude affirmations, and you could just listen to that. And then the next step would be pen to paper. And I started with the book. It was a hardback called The 5 Minute Journal. And that does start out with gratitude. And I have since transformed into my own little thing. But that's two places to make it super, super easy.
Wonderful. Great suggestions. All right. What's the next trait?
Trait 5 is a boldness to invest. What are we investing in?
A boldness to invest in yourself. I believe
Mm,
that is what he
hmm.
is referring to. Now,
Yep.
this is an area that people are really, really reluctant in doing, and I don't understand it. I mean, I've struggled with it too at times. I haven't wanted to fork out $1 here or $1 there for, a class or for a book or for a mentorship, but that's changed. I love learning, and I think it wasn't really that I didn't want to or that I struggled with giving my dollar. It's that I wanted to make sure I was getting value for that. So it was a trust issue
Hmm.
for me
Hmm.
because I was willing to give it to universities, but not
Yeah.
necessarily perfect strangers, because for whatever reason in my brain, I believe that universities provide good quality education.
Hmm.
We won't even
Yeah.
get into that discussion right now.
We can learn so
So,
much off the internet now. These kids have it so much
oh,
easier.
I call it the University of YouTube, by the way.
Do you? Well, it sure is. You can learn some bad stuff and you can learn some great stuff. And
You can
just
learn how
just
to
the
learn.
internet itself. Yeah, I mean just
Yeah.
the internet itself, you can get full degrees now.
Yeah.
So, yep. No, there's really no excuse for people not to keep learning and investing in
Exactly.
themselves, even if it's a mentor or a coach. I'm telling you, to go to the next level, a mentor can help you, but a coach will make you. There's just a difference it's a slight difference in the word, because a mentor is more like, hey, come with me. And a coach is like, makes you do things you don't want to do to become the person you want to become. Yeah. Get up, get in your journal, walk for 20 minutes a day, every day
Mm.
for 30 days. You know what I mean? Like, so coaches are a little bit different than mentors,
Hmm.
but
They
get one,
are.
get both.
And you know what? Okay, so let's just touch on this for a second, because
Okay.
I told you that I struggled with finding or being willing to part with my money for certain coaches or classes or whatever because of a trust issue.
Mm-hmm.
So for our listeners, what do you recommend a person do before hiring a coach or a mentor?
Oh, Lordy. Google reviews. I don't know. Usually you find a mentor or a coach in a more personable way. Maybe somebody else has used them that, had a good experience. Um, most coaches and mentors, like a coach you're typically hiring, most mentors are just an older uncle or a chiropractor that's got 20 years or more experience than I do, like whatever, in the same vocation. So if you're hiring them, you're going to do more of your homework. But if it's a mentor, it's more heart to heart. It's more personable. The coaching can become personal. I'm very good friends with coaches that I had decades ago, that we ended up being friends, after the whole coaching thing was up. So I don't know if that's answering your question, but I feel like, yeah, I think I'm going to stick to my guns. I think mentoring is more going to come from your group ish, your niche, or you can go out and seek somebody that's amazing in your vocation that's willing to mentor you. But coaching, you're going to have to probably do your homework a little bit more.
Mhm. Yeah, and I look at mentoring and coaching as, I guess, two different service levels of
Mm-hmm.
commitment,
Mm.
right? That's how I look at it. So either way, whether you're looking for a mentor or whether you're looking for an actual coach, the amount of time, the amount of dollars that it's going to cost to get either one of them might be different. But I still think that you need to make sure that it's somebody that you can respect. That's got to be one, because if you don't respect them, you're not going to follow them. So how do you respect them? You respect them by learning a little bit about them. Follow them on social media. Most coaches out there, most mentors out there are going to be publishing things on social media. Could be a book, could be a class, could be just social media posts, whatever, but see what their content is. See if you
Yep.
like the way that they speak, the way that they present themselves, the way that they break things down, whatever it might be.
Yep.
The
I
next
agree.
stage, you can totally look at Google reviews. I think that's not a bad thing. And actually, what I do, I look at the worst, like
Mm-hmm.
the bad reviews. I look at the bad reviews because you'll see on a review system, you'll see like a 4-star or a 3-star or a 2-star. And it doesn't matter how many stars there are. I automatically will go to the worst ones. And what I do is I read the worst ones and I go, is that really valuable information? And if
Mm.
it's not valuable information, I scratch it off the list right off the bat, and the rating goes up for me, because people are just putting stupid reviews
Some
in that
people.
actually don't make any difference, or they're not added value. And I'll use
Yep.
products as an example. Okay,
Yep.
products as an example. So, you look for a product and the reviews are terrible on it. There might be only a few reviews, but you look at the bad reviews and it's like, yeah, this product wasn't the one I purchased. I purchased one similar to this and it just didn't arrive. Okay, well, that's of zero value. So you're bringing down the value or the stars on this particular product, and this has nothing to
Mm-hmm.
do with it. Another one would be, yeah, 1 star because the product came broken. Okay, well, products come broken in shipping. Does that mean anything about the actual product itself? Was the customer service good? Did they fix it? All of that kind of stuff, right? So,
Yeah, I totally do the same thing with reviews. I will read the first one, and then I always like how they have that second one off to the side where it's like the
yeah,
worst one. And actually, that did help me when I went to purchase something recently.
perfect.
I ended up not getting it. Yeah, because it was something like, yeah, I sat on it the first
Yeah,
time I sat on it and I broke it. I was like, okay, wait a minute, we got a flaw here. Now, granted, I don't have a picture of this person, but yeah.
yeah. So the reviews can be helpful. The next thing that I would highly recommend is that you actually reach out to the individual that you're interested in having coach you or mentor
Mm-hmm.
you. Reach out to
Mm-hmm.
them if they're good at what they do, if they're willing to, um, they should be willing to talk to you. They should be willing
Mm-hmm.
to have a 15-minute consultation with you. They should be able to, figure out whether or not you're a good fit, because any good coach is going to want to be with somebody that is going to be a good fit. They're not going to be wanting to have individuals in their group or
Yep.
working with people that isn't a good fit. It's not good for business. It's
Yep.
bad for business.
It is.
You have to have somebody that
Agree.
is going to work well with you. And that's just the way it is. So those would be my tips for finding a good coach.
Got it.
So
Love it.
now the one last thing that I want to kind of end on is also the other part of a boldness to invest is also being able to delay gratification. So your
Hmm.
own personal delay of gratification, that is also an investment in yourself by saying, you know what, let's not get this now. Let's wait, because it's basically prioritizing your assets, prioritizing your resources, prioritizing everything so that you're continuing to put it back into the business, put it back into yourself for
Yep.
growth. Right.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if it was this book or if it was somewhere else that I heard, um, kind of a ratio of recommended, um, monthly finances that should go towards personal development. So investing
Mm.
in yourself. And that's taking, how you take 10%, you're throwing into
Mm-hmm.
savings. You've heard that number before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, take 10% and throw that into an investment. So every month you throw 10%, and that goes to buying books. It goes to buying classes. It goes to investing back in yourself. And I thought that was really Really cool. Paying yourself first.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, folks. Do you have anything else to add?
Well, there was one trait left.
Is there one trait left? I missed
Yeah.
it. Okay, what's the last
Chapter
trait?
17, trait 7, an appreciation of where they came from.
Ah, what does that mean from you or for you?
Well, I think it's looking like your surroundings and who, not just who raised you, but you know, not just like the parents, but maybe the aunts and uncles or the neighbor or your town or your teachers or like your traditions or things like that. I think if when people can hold on to the good things that bring them joy and they can be thankful for, appreciation and joy and gratitude of where they are now is a product of where they've been. And so you're appreciating, the past to where you are now. Even if it was challenging, you can appreciate the challenges because they kind of shaped you to where you are today. So you can use them in a negative way. You can have the pity party, or you can be like, you know what? Woo, I survived that. I know I can do this. So this perspective.
Isn't that interesting? So we have two individuals here. There's you and there's me reading the same book, and we get two separate things out of it.
So shocking.
I got out of this chapter more of an appreciation for where you came from, is kind of a recognition to yourself that you've actually grown. It's a recognition that you've made it from A to B, because it's so easy to get caught up in the here and now. It's so easy to get caught up in where we're at and that lack of gratitude, that lack of accomplishment, that lack of whatever
celebrating
still sits there. It sits there and you're constantly feeling, because you still don't have the goal. Like maybe you're 80% there and you haven't quite gotten there, but unless you have an appreciation for where you've come from, you'll never really see your growth. And I can see this with kids, right? Your kids, my kids, as they were growing up, we never saw the incremental inches that they grew or centimeters that they grew every single day. We didn't see it. They just grew in front of us as we grew with them. And it's not until grandma or grandpa comes and all of a sudden says, wow, you've grown so much. I can't believe how big you are, because they haven't seen them in so long. You take it for granted, right? And that's kind of where I was feeling that this was kind of the advantage, right? So
it's interesting because in this coaching program I'm in right now, they are really huge on celebrating yourself, and hard doers, like us, like we're just constantly focused on the carrot in front of us. We forget that the mile we just walked behind us, and they're really just pounding it into all of us right now. Like, what are you celebrating today? What are you celebrating this week? Like how, because it does make you recognize, and it brings your energy, it brings your frequency up. So, because we just get so like we're hard on ourselves, and that leads to burnout. So celebrate your wins, people. Celebrate your wins.
Celebrate your wins. Awesome. We will see you in the next episode for the next part of the book. Bye, guys.
Thank you for joining us today. For more information about the show, as well as our list of current reads, check us out at www.theelevatedtrader.com.
Remember to subscribe and share if you found value in today's episode. See you next week.